Hi guys and welcome back to Alpacaly Ever After. It's the last day of shearing. We've done over 200 alpacas and llamas and it's the last day. We've got about 25 to do. We've invited Bob Shaw down from Bob Shaw's Camelid and Livestock Services. He lives over in Durham. He's a fantastic shearer. He's brought Aggie down. He's actually training her. She's come all the way from France. So everyone over in France, make sure you use Aggie. She's awesome at shearing. We'll do a little bit of an interview with her later on. So yeah, we've got a lot to do, so we'll get cracking. Before we get started, we're going to need the following equipment. We're going to need clippers, oil, nail clippers, scissors, ties, guiding rope, a nice comfy floor mat, generator, a shearer, and an apprentice. Let's get into it. So first up is Juniper. Juniper was born at the Lakes Distillery actually on the 18th of June. I think it was World Gin Day. She's an awesome mum. That's a little baby Andrew behind her. So yeah, let's get to talk about shearing. It actually looks like I'm kneeling on her neck when we place them on the mats, but I'm not. I'm actually kneeling on the mat. I use my leg as support. I just want to make sure she doesn't jump up when I'm getting them binds onto her feet. It's important you do bind an alpaca when you're shearing them. Basically, alpacas are a prey animal, and obviously they're quite skittish, and you don't want to be using sharp clippers on their legs when they're jumping, because you can accidentally cut them. So it's important you keep their legs still. So yeah, we basically always shear in twos. It's usually me, Nicole, and Bob Shaw. We'll talk about more later on. Nicole's here for support. She'll give Juniper a little hug, make sure she feels safe, and keep her calm while I shear. They always start on their middle bit, their legs, and then finish on their neck. So it usually takes around about 15 minutes to shear an alpaca, and as you can see, all that fleece is everywhere. It's beautiful, it's soft, and what we do is we bag it, tag it, we send it away for processing, and eventually we get it turned into balls of wool. So before we crack on with the rest of the alpacas, I'd like to introduce you to Bob Shaw. Bob's been helping me shear alpacas and give me advice since I've started, really, about 10 years ago. He's awesome. I couldn't recommend him highly enough. If you need a shearer or you want alpacas, speak to Bob. Anyway, I'll hand this bit over to Bob.
I'm Bob Shaw, alpaca shearer. Been doing this job now for 33 years this year. I used to do show sheep and Angora goats, and a lady called Pat Bentley from Syke House had 46 alpacas, and I tried doing one like a sheep. That was a disaster. I tried doing one standing up. That was even worse. So we went in the house back in the day of VHS videos, had about 3 strong cups of coffee, fast forward, paused, rewound for about an hour, went out, improvised with some rope, did 20 the first day, went back the second day and did 26. If it's done in the way that you see today, both with myself and Terry, the animals are just comfortably tied with hobbles. They're not used with ratchets, etc., or spaces between the legs. It's our preferred method. Genuinely, I've had alpacas go to sleep. They're so relaxed, you've got to actually wake them up to let them go. They go onto a soft rubber mat, they're placed down, and it's out. There are some other methods out there, but this is the method I choose to use. We talk people through it. If there's any observations, any ailments, any conditions that can be rectified simply, we carry most of the products to do it ourselves, from vaccine to wormer to things like that. The vaccine's all stored in fridges in small vials that we use in a day. Minerals, vitamins, we only administer as and when they're needed. Toenails, they're done, and that's pretty much it. We do sort the fleece. I discussed earlier with Terry, people with fruit trees and orchards are using a lot of seconds and thirds to keep round the roots clear. Market gardeners are using the leg hair to keep slugs and pests down. We had a good one yesterday where we were shearing. There was a local beekeeper who came and took all the fleece to put in his beehives for the winter. One other thing that we do personally, we sell Surrey alpaca fibre on 2 years, and we've got a specialist market that we're trying to aim for, which is expensive wigs for humans and expensive dolls' wigs as well. I've trained probably about 12 shearers over the last 3 or 4 years. Some have only wanted to do their own animals. Some have done it professionally. and there's probably 8 really going hard at it at the moment. And you'll see on today's film, there's a French lady that's a family friend from about 40 years ago. So she's come across in the holidays to learn how to shear. She's been doing it for a fortnight. Very, very good results. Nice attitude. I've got great hopes for her, both on the continent and then back here in future years, helping me out as I'm getting older.
Well, I share alpacas because I met Bob last September, and he was a friend of my brother-in-law, and I discovered all about alpaca worlds at this time. I love traveling and I love animals, so I just thought that shearing alpacas was a good idea. I'm from France. I think there's 8 or 9 alpaca shearers in France, and a lot of people who have alpacas but don't have anyone to shear them. So you need to stretch alpacas out because you can't have them sitting like a sheep. They're really tall animals, so you need to handle them differently than sheep. They're laying on a mat. They're not stressed out. They have someone cuddling their heads. The handler is usually just giving them a little cuddle at the same time, so it's pretty cool for them. You do toenails, you do wormers, vaccines. If you have all the materials to do it. I know some shearers don't. It kind of depends on what service you want to offer.
Our season in this country is about 6 months now, from April to August. Ultimately, I can hand shear as well, so I do sneak into September with a few that's got missed by other shearers. But it's a good window, 6 months shearing in this country. The knock-on effect for rural businesses like the feed manufacturers, hurdle makers, all sorts of things. There's a whole network of other businesses supplying the alpaca industry, as it were, from the small person with 2 or 3 pets to the likes of Terry and Emma at Alpacaly Ever After that do a lot of trekking. They're really good with the publicity, not just locally or nationally, worldwide. These guys know what they're doing.
So that's it, guys. Another shearing year done. Next time I've got Nicole to help me out. She can start shearing. She's done awesome. I want to say a massive thank you to Bob and Aggie for coming down to help us out. One thing I've learned this year is I'm going to ditch this brick for this not so heavy brick. Leicester Shearing Fusion. It was awesome. It's completely different from that other one, so I'm ditching that and I'm going with them. So a massive shout out to Leicester. So yeah, guys, that's it. If you need shearers, contact Bob and Aggie, especially if you're in France. Aggie's coming back home. She's going to be taking them shearing over there, and next year she's going to be popping back to England and doing more with Bob. It's a great team. We're calling them Baggy? Bob and Aggie? Baggy? I don't know. I'll run it through Bob first. So yeah, guys, thank you for joining us. See you on the next episode. Over and out. Yeah? Yeah. We're done it.